Every moment counts. We've all said it, embraced it, shared the message in some form or another. Those instances we try to steal from time and keep close forever to remind us of a life lived. Photographic evidence. And yet, what is a frozen memory without meaning? We pick up a camera, each of us, and become storytellers. Shamans in a foreign land, holding a familiar tool. Our intent is every time fresh, if not every day known, on a path not destined for file folders or render queues or an excuse to click upload, share, post. It's a steeper climb than that, into unknowns. A camera does not simply capture these moments. It pushes you into them, walks you to the edge, takes your hand and counts down from 3. We look through the lens to gain perspective, to pinpoint our place in the world, and realize others. A fresh piece of glass can shift perspective, can invite new connections, and with every instance in our pockets, skill grows alongside understanding. The next traveler on our path will have a memory of moments we've never even dreamt of, ready for a fresh field of view.
Earlier this year, NPS Canada contacted us to shoot a short film showcasing a new camera they had coming out. What we wanted to do with this campaign was not only showcase what the camera was capable of doing, but also showcase a new landscape that a lot of people might not be familiar with.
We started pre-production about 2 weeks before our first principal day of shooting, and it was critical that we had everything extremely well organized.
And we wanted to make sure we had kind of everything in place before we landed in Nova Scotia. The key with this project was to make sure that we took kind of a new approach to production. So we made sure we had all the support gear here that we needed to capture the shots that we were hoping to in the way that we wanted. And with this production, we had a lot of great tools on set. We had the Kessler CineSlider, we had the CineDrive system, we had the Movi M5 and Octocopter as well.
It's definitely a good practice to lay everything out right before you go shooting so that everybody knows how every piece works, what goes together with what. I kind of liken it to that moment you feel before going into battle. Everyone's, just squaring everything away, and it's a really exciting time.
One thing that was also a little bit different with this project is that we had to do our scout at the same time as our production. So we came out and we had our first 4 days of scouting where we really toured across the province and checking out kind of the different locations that we wanted to feature in this film. Within those first 4 days, I think we put on about like 5,000 kilometers. So we really were able to explore a vast part of Nova Scotia. And I think by doing that, we were able to really find out the key spots that helped us tell this story.
What we really set out to do was to capture the story of the legacy of a fisherman. We wanted to tell the story of a fisherman who has been working hard his whole life and has a real passion for what he does. And I think we really achieved that by coming across our main character, Manny.
Manny is a very unique individual with a heart of gold and an amazing sense of humor. He's truly one of a kind, and we're very fortunate to find him. After one quick phone call, he invited us over. We got there, and I sort of leaned out the car window and said, "Excuse me, sir, we're looking for Manny." And he goes, "There's no sir here, just call me Manny." And right away we knew, okay, this is the guy for us.
The turnaround time for this project was extremely tight. We landed in Nova Scotia on June 16th, and we were set to deliver the final assets, which included a documentary film, BTS film, and photo campaign by July 6th. So we knew when we hit the ground in Nova Scotia, we really had to hit the ground running.
Every day was filled with lots of new things to do, a few new challenges. We had to secure locations, secure talent, secure boats, trucks, all kinds of things. Not everything was laid out as we planned, and when a door closed, a window opened, and we always found some way to succeed and achieve what our intended desire was.
Nova Scotia is a beautiful province, and we really wanted to get to quite a few of those different locations throughout the province. So when we started the film, we were staying in sort of the center of the province, but we knew we had to get back and forth to do a lot of scouting. And some of those drives to get to the places that we wanted to see were 5 hours either way. So we really had to kind of carefully select the areas that we wanted to see and make those trips really worthwhile.
Of course, because we worked in so many different locations and so many different environments, we'd be going and knocking on doors and getting a lead from one person to go find the next person, so on.
We would pull up to Peggy's Cove, we would start chatting with people, and they just opened their doors to us. It was really, really quite incredible. I'm not sure that you would get that in too many other places.
We really wanted to show them that we care about the locals here. We're not just a film crew coming in to storm in, take what we need, and leave without giving anything back. That was a very, very important piece for all of us, and I think we achieved that.
I think the most crazy adventure from this whole trip was going through the backcountry of Cape Breton. And about 2.5 hours into that trip, we came to a part in the road where it told us the road was closed. And we were a little shocked that the sign was so far into our journey. There was no road to turn on. If we were to backtrack, it was 2.5 hours back to get to the main turnoff point, and then it would have been another 2.5 hours around to get to Cheticamp. We had no cell reception. We had no idea how close the next town was. It looked like on Google Maps that it was somewhat close, but we had no idea. At that point, this 50-kilometer journey, which we expected us to take maybe 3/4 of an hour, we were already 2.5 hours into this trip, so we had no idea how much time was left once we got past this road if we were to continue through. But we decided that we wanted to go ahead, so we took the chance and went for it.
It was one of those decisions where we can turn around, play it safe, and probably feel like we failed a little bit in the end. What we ended up doing is working together as a team, figuring out a way to get our truck across this culvert, which turned out us going right through the stream itself, and we were very successful in doing it.
One of the best things I think about that adventure obviously is the story and the experience, but also just the fact that, you get to see this beautiful area of Cape Breton that not many people do.
It definitely was a highlight of the trip because we pressed on and we made that moment really count.
With this project, what we really tried to do is evolve our style of storytelling. So not just go with the cookie cutter approach and go with what we know works. It's more of finding a way to add new elements to the story that's unique from other things we've done. Coming into this project, we knew we were going to be working long days, long hours, and knew that we really had to give it our all. We're all about pushing ourselves and kind of our creative capabilities. And with all team members involved, when choosing who the best team members would be to come out here, it was really finding those people that are also willing to take risks and push themselves and work these long hours to really make sure we capture that essence of Nova Scotia.
I love the way that we can help people to tell their own stories, and I love the storytelling aspects in cinema. One of the real benefits of coming together as a team is you have so many talents and so many different creative minds that are coming together and collaborating to tell a more powerful story.
And by having this collaborative environment, I feel that not only was I able to tell the story that I wanted to tell, but we were able to tell a story that the group wanted to tell. So through the whole process, we'd sit down end of day, we'd go through the footage, and we'd talk about ways we could approach the next day better, or elements we were missing in the story that were really critical to that full story of Nova Scotia that we were hoping to tell. Music plays an integral role in any project, and what we wanted to do with this project was fly the musician out to Nova Scotia to come work on location with us. Carnell is someone that I've worked with on a few different projects and really just felt he was the perfect fit for this project. What's cool about his style is that he doesn't go and just play songs that other people have written. He's very dedicated to writing his own content. By having a musician like this, we were able to work together to produce this custom score. So when we were approaching the scoring of this piece, I gave him a locked edit and just basically said, watch this piece a few times and feel free to roll with the direction he felt fit that would help tell the same story.
I guess when I sit back down and listen to the piece, I reflect on it, why I made the decisions that I did. Well, first of all, when I first watched the rough cut, Manny's story really stuck with me. That he's a family man, he's been working his whole life. He's just got that sense about him that he's special to a lot of people. but he's just the guy that's always there. So I wanted to make sure that the music that I was writing or choosing had some sort of emotional connection for me that I could obviously put my emotions into, and hopefully that would come through the track.
There were a few parts where I wanted specific emotions to be captured, but outside of those few points, I basically just gave him the reins and told him to just roll with what he thought was right, and I couldn't be happier with the piece that he produced. When thinking of the best approach for this project, we knew it was imperative to focus on the new features of the camera that really excited us and helped tell our story.
Our goal with this piece was not just to show every new feature of the camera, but really show some of the new specialty features that really help us in our workflow.
I've been using the D800 for about 8 months now, and up until this point I've been extremely happy with the images I've gotten from the camera. With the introduction of the D810, they've really catered this camera towards the filmmaker and really added features that makes this camera even better for the different projects that I want to work on, and really maximizes the capabilities of this sensor.
One of the most unique new features on the D810 is the ability to have auto ISO while we're recording live in video mode.
There was a shot that we wanted to achieve where we bring our lead character out from a dark, smoky environment where he's sewing his fishing net to bring him outside into a full sunlit exterior.
Prior to the D810, we would have had to use an aperture priority setting to be able to achieve that fisherman shot. And with the D810, we were able to put it on auto ISO, and it allowed us to really smoothly pull it from a dark situation into a bright situation, and the exposure just blends really perfectly.
Oftentimes when you're shooting in the field, the sun's setting, you need to make quick decisions. A huge advantage is having a quick menu information button on the back of the camera that's right next to your thumb. With that, you can access your audio levels, you can access your frame rates, any other pertinent information that you need to make a quick decision on the fly.
One aspect of this project that we wanted to include was the use of slow motion, and the main reason why we wanted to do this is to really try and immerse people and the audience in the Nova Scotia landscape and the way of living. The second we landed in Nova Scotia, we really realized that the pace in Nova Scotia was so much slower, and you really got to enjoy the landscape and really the location you're in. So when approaching the creative on this project, we really wanted to find a way to capture this essence, and we felt that the best way to do this would be through the use of slow motion. They've also introduced a flat picture profile setting. Shooting with a flat picture profile is critical, and we knew coming into this project that we really wanted to push this final image. It was really cool seeing these images in the edit suite and really seeing how far we could push them. This dynamic range and the latitude that it captured, and the way it captured it, really allowed us to push these images in the direction that we needed this project to go.
Backing up your footage is absolutely critical. There's nothing more important or more devastating than losing a shot. A great option that this camera allows you to do is to both record compressed and uncompressed at the same time.
I think that once people get their hands on this camera and see all the new features that Nikon's added with the camera, that people will be extremely excited not only with the camera, but the results they get from the camera as well.
What I took away from this project was just working with amazing filmmakers really just pushes you to that next level. Working with Preston, Mike, Manny, even Manny, and meeting all the new people that were on the set. Brent, Paul, it was just a bunch of great people working together to create a common goal.
It's great to work in such a team environment where everyone is extremely specialized in what they do, yet extremely versatile that they can wear several different hats.
I truly think this project couldn't have come together without so many creative minds collaborating. This team has been amazing, and we've all worked so hard to help each other and assist each other throughout each part of the shoot.
The one line that really stuck with me with this project when interviewing Manny was the idea that every moment counts. And up until this point, I mean, I've tried to live my life by that mantra, but I don't feel that I've quite gotten there. And that's definitely one of my biggest lessons that I want to take away from this project, is to not take time for granted. This process isn't just about growing as an artist, but it's also growing as an individual. And really, I mean, any relationship you form, be it through a crew member or someone you're working with or someone's story you're telling, all the root of all of that is is growing as an individual and becoming a better person and really valuing every moment. And I mean, that's really why I do what I do, is to form these relationships. And I mean, that's really what life's about.
So the hunt continues, an expedition to the next instance, the shutter revealing the next glimpse of dedication, passion, a hint of perfection, a life without limit, a story with purpose, my own. I can say things, and you can choose to believe them, but this camera proves them. And so we say, every moment counts.